Good afternoon. Today we're going to discuss how to create or how to use proportions to solve word problems. First thing you want to do is read the problem. Then you're going to set up your word ratio, and then from there you just place the numbers according to their unit or the way they're described where they should be. So let's go ahead and tackle number one. An 8-foot tall tree cast a 4-foot shadow at the same time. A nearby building cast a 20-foot shadow. How tall is the building? So the first thing we want to do is see, they will always give you one ratio. Okay, so we want to fill out that first ratio. But before we do that, we want to tackle our word ratio. So we look at the words and see how they're described. So this is going to be an 8-foot tall tree, and this is going to be a 4-foot shadow. So these words are described, or these numbers are described with tall and shadow, or height and shadow. You could use either or, they're interchangeable. And we see that we have a 20-foot shadow here, so we know we're good there. And then they use tall again. They will always use the words you want to set up in your word ratio twice. They use tall twice and they use shadow twice, so we'll go with that. And because I saw the word tall first, I'll just put tall over shadow. All right, in our first ratio, they said the number 8 is described as tall. So because that has tall, we're going to put that at the top of that ratio. And then the number 4 is described as being a shadow. So we're going to place that at the bottom of the second ratio. And as we move on and we read the second one, it says 20-foot shadow. And 20 is described as a shadow, so that goes down here with the shadow, so it's going to be 20. And then we're looking for how tall the building is going to be. And anytime you don't know what a number is, you use a variable, so we're going to put that as x. Then we're going to use our cross multiplication. You get 4 times x is equal to 8 times 20. And 8 times 20 is 160. And 4 times x is 4x. X, right, Mr. McGee, 4x. And then you're going to divide each side by 4. And you see that x is equal to 40. All right, now we're going to move on to number 2. And as you guys can see, I have both of these problems labeled. This is problem 1 from your second assignment, right, for your homework assignment. So this is problem 1 and the second assignment of your homework from this packet, and this is problem 3. So if you guys want to find your packet, I believe it's pages 19 through 21. This is the third word problem. I believe it's on page 20. All right, so we're going to read this on a map scale. On a map, the scale is 1 inch is equal to 40 miles. If the distance on the same map from Centerville to Charlottesville is 2.25 inches, then what is the actual distance? All right, so I can see that they gave us a map scale. That's pretty easy. That means they give us the first ratio right there. A map scale is very easy, and we'll do inch over a mile. All right, and we can use 1 over 40, and then we have to find our second ratio, and that's going to be in our second sentence, if the distance on the same map from Centerville to Charlottesville is 2.25 inches. All right, so that is described as inches, so I find where inches is. That's at the top. It's going to be 2.25 over x. We do not know how many miles it's going to be. And I do my cross multiplication, and 40 times 2.25 is equal to 90. And 1 times x is simply x, so 90 equals x. So if we had to write a therefore statement, it would be therefore the distance is 90 miles. All right, we'll go on to the next one. Go over here. And we just have 2 more, and then we're done. This is problem number 8, And this is problem 11 from your homework. All right, so we're going to start with problem number 8. All right, the Peeps Candy Factory has a ratio of 5, right, to 245 defective Peeps to sellable Peeps. If they manufacture 9 million Peeps a year, how many are sellable? So we know that the ratio, right, is 5 to 245, but how do they describe these words? So remember, you can use the word to as one of the 3 forms to create a ratio. So we have defective Peeps to sellable Peeps. So I'm just going to write D over F, right? Because we know we're going to use that. But what they want is the total, right? They're going to need a total because they manufactured 9,000. So we're going to come down here and we're going to put total. So we're going to set up our grid as this. Defective, we know we have 5. And sellable, we're going to have 245. And the total is going to be 250. Now, if they create 9 million, how many are going to be sellable? That's defective. I'm sorry, that should be sellable here. So we don't want the defective ones. We just want to know how much are going to be sellable. So that's our proportion. If we do 245 over 250 is equal to X over 9 million. What is our X? So we do X times 250, which is going to give us 250X. And that is going to equal, what is 245 times 9? That's 6 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's equal to 2205, right? And it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're going to have to go ahead and divide each side by 250. And I just left that in my calculator. So now I just hit divide by 250. And X is going to equal 2 and 4 zeros. And we drop in our commas. So that's going to be 8,820,000 Peeps. All right, so that would be your answer. All right, and then the final one, number 11, we'll come over here, is at Giant Chunky Soup is on sale for 10 cans for $11. At Safeway, Chunky Soup is on sale for 4 cans for $5. Who has the better deal? All right, this one you're going to set up 2 proportions and solve, okay? You're going to do cans over money. So I'm going to do C over dollars, right? And this is going to be Safeway. And this is going to be Giant. All right, so for Giant, we actually get that first. We're going to do 10 cans over $11, right? That's 11 is equal to 1 can. How much does that cost? Because we want to know the better deal, the way we find out the better deal is how much are you paying for one of those cans? And if we come over here to Safeway, we see that we're going to do 4 cans over $5, but how much are we paying for 1 can? X. So we'll do Safeway first. 5 times 1 is 5x, and then 4 times x is 4x, 4x, and then we simply divide by 4 on each side, and 5, did I do that right? Yep, 5 divided by 4 is 1.25. So what does that mean? If that's money, right? If x is equal to money, that means that's going to be $1.25 per can. We come over here and we cross multiply, we get 10x is equal to 11, and we divide each side by 10. X is equal to 11 divided by 10, and you get this is $1.10, right? Put that there. So which is cheaper? Giant is cheaper. So therefore, get this out of here. Therefore, Giant is the better buy. All right, there you go. All right, you guys have a good evening. See you in class. Bye.